down, good Lord. And baby got 'em open all over town. Simply 'cause you don't play around, cover much ground, got game by the pound. Getting paid is a forte, each and every day. True play way, I can't get 'em out of my mind. I think about the boy all the time. East side to the west side, pushing fat rides, it's no surprise. He got tricks in the stash, stacking up the cash, fast when it comes to the gas. By no means average, oh, 'cause he's got to have it. Baby, you're a perfect 10. I wanna get in, can I get down so I can? I like the way you work it, I like to bag it up. I like the way you work it. Feelings is a no, so let me tell you how it goes. You're blowing my mind, maybe in time, baby, I can get you in my like to beg you up. I like the way you work it. Ooh, I love the way you work it. I love the way you work it, boy. Play on. was 5 and he was 6. We rode on horses made of sticks. He wore black and I wore white. He would always win the fight. Bang, bang. He shut me down. Bang, bang. I hit the ground. Bang, bang. That awful sound. Bang, bang. My baby shot me down.
Have you heard of Jesus?
Seasons came and changed the time. When I grew up, I called him mine. He would always laugh and say, remember when we used to play? Bang, bang, I shut you down. Bang, bang, you hit the ground. Bang, bang, that awful sound. Bang, bang, my baby shot me down.
All right, folks, how we doing tonight? How are we all doing tonight? We have a Streamlabs tip. Thank you very much, folks. Already glad to see that. Brendan sends $10 and says not a Mossad payment. Well, that's good to know. That's good to know. Thank you. Thank you very much for that, Brendan Goldstein. I'm very happy to receive that not Mossad payment. And a couple people in the chat. Yes, I was playing a little song called "Your Woman" by Whitetown. It's a little forgotten. I love that song. I've always loved that song. I love that song since it was new, and that was a one-hit wonder that kind of came and went. And I mean, I assume they've done other stuff, but nothing that ever charted. So I love that song. I'm just gonna play more fucking copyrighted songs. I'm gonna steer clear of some of like the really big shit that might get me like blocked. You know, but I don't care. I get a copyright claim all the fucking time. All the fucking time. We were also listening to Bang Bang Shot Me Down. Yes, that song is from Kill Bill. It was a Nancy Sinatra song. But it was used in Kill Bill. We were listening to an Anne Reburn cover of it. What else did I play? What the fuck? I played a cover of No Diggity from Postmodern Jukebox, but I wanna actually get the name of it. Hang on a second. So that was a Arena Savalas. And it's listed as a vintage Jessica Rabbit style cover of Blackstreet's No Diggity, in case you want to look that up for yourself. So, let's see. Somebody in the chat says they definitely gave Grandpa Joe a huge dose of something to keep his brain from imploding. Yes, undoubtedly. In fact, you can actually see it beginning to wear off by the end of it. You could see Joe... Biden is very fortunate that wasn't a 2-hour debate. That was clearly wearing off by the end of it. But yeah, my guess is Adderall. I'm sure they just gave him a couple Adderalls. Which I mean that'll get a little over an hour of out of somebody with Alzheimer's. It wasn't even a debate. It was just 3 old men arguing over who gets to talk. Trump wasn't fucking around. There's plenty of things I think he should have maybe even gone harder on, but Trump wasn't fucking around. So he said, did you see Biden's face when Trump's wife told him off? I did not. Once it was over, kind of just wrapped up and got ready to get on here. I looked like he was starting to see the monolith from 2001 at the end. Yeah, he wasn't looking good towards the end. I was amazed at how together he had it early on, but he wasn't looking good towards the end. I wish Trump would have gone a little harder on the COVID shit. I wish he would have been like, look, he should have just said, look, we shut down early on because this disease was an unknown, but it turned out it's, obviously one death is tragic, but it turned out it's obviously not as bad as we thought, so we needed to open up. I wish he'd have gone even harder on that and just been like, look, all this is bullshit. It's all bullshit, okay? It's all bullshit. None of this is needed anymore, okay? And people are sick of it. But he went hard on Biden's son. He went hard on a lot of stuff. He wasn't. I mean, he just wasn't fucking playing by the rules. It was just, And look, everybody that hates him is going to be, Trump. Trump wasn't being presidential, and Trump was being. I don't know. I gotta be honest with you guys. I'm not really sure. I'm not really sure that's a debate that, like, anybody. I don't think that moved anybody. And I realize there's an ever smaller number of undecideds to move in these polarizing times. He went hard on the voter fraud shit at the end. He wouldn't let up on that, which I'm glad, because that's the only thing I'm really concerned about as far as Trump not winning, is that they'll steal it. Look, I'll say something right now. If we're up to me, there'd be no fucking such thing as absentee ballots, mail-in ballots, all that bullshit. Period. Fucking period. And by the way, anyone that's going to be like, well, what about the military? You know what? I'm going to say something a lot of right-wingers ain't going to like. Certainly boomer right-wingers wouldn't like this. If it were up to me, since we're, in fucking fantasy land where these things are up to me, no government employee, no current government employee at any level, federal, state, or local, would be allowed to vote while they are a current government employee. And that would include the military, because, and I know this is something a lot of people don't seem to fucking grasp, the military is part of the government. So the whole, well, what about the military, would be a fucking issue. Wouldn't be a fucking issue. But no, I'd do away with the absentee voters entirely. Fuck it. Because in the moment you're like, well, what about this? What about that? Then, next thing you know, you got this bullshit. Okay? So, yeah. And look, I realize the military votes right-wing, generally. So, you could argue from the purely pragmatic standpoint, well, if we lost those votes, that would be a lot of right-wing votes. Yes, but if we also lost all the other government employees, that would be way more left-wing votes. And look, let's be real. It's simply, why would I say that government employees can't vote but the military is exempt? Why should the military be exempt if we were making that rule? So yeah, fuck it. No. Just absentee ballot shit it's bullshit, right? The only reason we could tolerate it with the military is because it's a relatively small portion of the fucking, populace, and it doesn't swing anything anyways. Okay? But they freely fucking admit it there that we're not going to have election results election night. Okay? This is going to be another 2000. This is going to drag on for weeks, if not months. Only this time, they're flat out doing it on purpose, okay? It's not just, it came down to one state and it's close, so everybody's trying to play games. No, this time, months in advance, they're like, yeah, we're going to fucking play games. Somebody says, I think I hear the captain. Not quite. What you're hearing right now is a little muscle relaxer. I guess similar effect, just not as fun. Yeah. I'm dealing with some injuries from my car accident a couple months ago. And I'm not going to get into a great deal of details on the air, but I finally getting to see a doctor right now with all the COVID bullshit and they're backed up, and they don't, there's so many restrictions on even going to see a doctor right now. Finally got to fucking see a doctor, and finally got got some real fucking attention for an issue that's been plaguing me for a couple of months. So yeah, that's why I'm a little loose in the tongue. And you're not supposed to take Captain with the muscle relaxers, because it makes it work too good. I'm joking. So don't take it with alcohol, but you should take it. I think that was like an Archer thing. It said on Archer, it's like, yeah, they say don't take it with alcohol, but you should take it with alcohol. Let's see. Debate would have been better with Orange Man and Darkside Phil. I mean, I think Trump did well. A lot of people already was like, oh, Trump's murdering him. And I mean, I guess, like, I certainly was happy with it. There were a couple of times I laughed out loud. Early on, where he just looks at Wallace and he goes, he looks at Chris Wallace and goes, I guess I'm debating you, not him, but that's okay. I expected that. That made me actually fucking laugh out loud. Literally LOL. Chances Captain Stabbin. No, we were talking about Captain Morgan. No, I'm not hanging out with Captain Stabbin. That's a different guy. That's a mid-2000s reference, I believe. Yeah, but I don't really think anything got. I don't think this was a game changer in any stretch. I think we're exactly where we were before tonight. And that's, Trump is ahead. Trump is ahead. I know the polls, blah, blah. No, Trump is going to win. Are they going to steal it, though, is a question. Will it be close enough that they can steal it? That's entirely different. Entirely different thing. And that's something I am genuinely worried about. But Trump is absolutely ahead. Let's see, chat here. Let's see. So he says, I'm going to go get blitzed. Honestly, why even have the debates? Well, no, I think it's important. I think it's, look... It's about time Joe Biden got forced to get the fuck out of his goddamn basement and face the American people he presumes to be leading in a few months. So that alone, I consider it worth it. In fact, that was a good time. They were like, oh, Trump, you hid in your bunker. He should have been like, Biden, you've been in your basement for the last 6 months. Like, nobody's seen hide nor hair of you, except when you're talking about if you don't vote for me, you ain't black. Like, did go hard on Biden a few times. Wolfman Prepper says, if they stole it, people wouldn't actually do anything, and I'm frustrated about the lack of conviction on the right. See, it's not quite a lack of conviction. It is. It's a, I don't know, what's the word I'm looking for? I guess character trait of the right, of right-wingers. They are very deferential to authority. They're very hierarchy-driven. They're very order-driven, which are not inherently bad traits, and most of the time they're good traits. The problem is, it's right-wingers just aren't able to really challenge the system. They just don't. Oftentimes, they just don't have it in them, and that's what the problem is. Okay, the problem is that they often just can't face the reality. Like, look at the cop thing. This is a perfect example. In fact, the military thing's another perfect example. How right-wingers are always like, oh, so fucking pro-military, and they'll never take a good, honest look at how stupid our fucking foreign policy is. And all you got to do is take the biggest piece of shit imaginable and put it in a fucking military uniform, and right-wingers will kiss his ass. You know, there's large portions of right-wingers that will never see through Dan Crenshaw's bullshit. The worst you'll get from them is, well, I disagree with him on a lot of things, but I respect his service to this country. I thank him for his service. Guess what? I'm never going to thank Dan Crenshaw for his service. You know why? Because I'm not fucking Israel. I'm not Saudi Arabia. I'm not an oil company. I'm not the military industrial complex. He didn't fucking serve me. So what the fuck am I thanking him for? And that statement right there is something that your average right-winger just can't bring themselves to think or to say. So that is why the left is able to get away with so much bullshit. You know? The left is able to do things while in office. And I'm not mentioning any specifics as far as those things are the people that do them, so I don't think I'm getting in trouble with Susan here. But the left is able to do things while in office that should, by any measure, rightfully get them dragged out of their mansion and some fun activities happen after that. But right-wingers just don't have it the fuck in them to do that. He says Dan would have been better served as a skeleton in the desert. I wish his other eye and his dick were also lost. That's what I would. Like if I had a time machine, if I had Doc Brown's lawyer, and I go back in time, and I make it so the explosion took out both his eyes and his dick, and just left him a dickless, blind, fucking piece of shit. You know, on a fucking street corner somewhere, begging for change. I wouldn't. Dead is too good for him. The sweet release of death is better than Dan Crenshaw deserves. Mad Dog Mattis, totally weapons industry guy. I never bought into this guy. See, that's the other thing with, and officers are the worst. See, the type of soldier, the type of military guy that I do respect is the type that would never be running for office, because it'd be some gunnery sergeant who says fuck and cunt and the F slur, as they call it, that you're not allowed to say on YouTube anymore. Too much. But like Mattis, it's like, oh yeah, Mattis acting like he's this big tough guy and everyone's scared of him, like he's fucking, Frank goddamn Castle. Like, no, Mattis is just some old fucking boomer, whose eyeballs both look like freshly fucked buttholes. I don't stay awake at night. I keep other people awake at night. No, you don't, Mattis. No, you don't. It's all fucking paper tiger bullshit from these people. But again, the boomers in particular, and a lot of evangelicals, and a lot of right-wingers in general, they just fucking eat that shit up. Wolfland Prepper says, I'd love to get on with you and air my grievances, but I gotta go to work. Linda says, I have to go drive. Thank you. We are listening. Thank you. Back off. And mods and chat. God bless you. Oh, thank you very much for that. But yeah, I mean, it was a fun debate to watch. It was fun. Trump was certainly lively. Certainly fucking gave Biden a load of shit. It was a lot of fun. Gave Chris Wallace a load of shit. So he says, I like Mattis as a meme. He was useful to trigger weirdos. Well, look, it's one thing that, look, I passed some of the memes because some of the memes are funny. But, there's a lot of people that took the memes seriously. And when Mattis turned out to be exactly what he just very obviously was from the start, they were like, I can't believe it. I'm like, of course he is. My dad the other day was there's a member of my extended family, some distant fucking cousin, is like a helicopter pilot in the Navy, and my dad the other day found out that he's like a Biden supporter and he's a big shit lib and stuff, and I kind of figured he probably was because his dad is like that. But my dad's like, oh, I can't believe it. How can he think that way when he wears that? I'm like, he's a fucking officer. They're all shit. They're all fucking shit. I knew a guy once that knew him casually, kind of friend of a friend situation, but he was in the Army Reserves, and he was a drill sergeant when he was active. I don't know how that works. I don't know how you go be a drill sergeant for a couple of weeks at a fucking time. I think in boot camp like 9 weeks or something. I don't know how the fuck that works. I don't care. But I remember something he said to me really about. He was bitching about whatever general was in charge of the base where he was going off to at. And he said to me that you have to have a doctorate in bullshit to get your first star. Like, the officers are shit. They're trash. Everyone in the Pentagon is fucking trash. All right? Yeah, you get down to your low-level grunts and maybe your petty officers and your fucking enlisted men, and even the higher-rank enlisted men. That's a lot different, but in the Army, I know you don't call enlisted men sir. You call them by their rank. You call officers sir, because an enlisted man will always be like, don't call me sir, I work for a living. The enlisted and officer ranks are kind of weird because, again, as I understand it, all the officers outrank the enlisted, but at the same time, those ranks sort of run parallel. Like, technically, a low-level lieutenant outranks like a top-level sergeant, but only technically. But, yeah, I mean, it was a fun debate to watch. I had a lot of fun with it. But I don't know that anybody's opinion was changed. I don't know that it really made that much of an impact. And certainly, they had old Sleepy Joe. They had him doped up just right. He managed to get through the whole 90 minutes, seeming aware. He would, again, towards the end, he was starting to come on a little unraveled, but he managed to make it through. Which I didn't think he would. I really did not think he would. So. What else we got going on tonight? If y'all have any questions or comments about the debate, but there's really not much else to say. There's some other stuff might be worth talking about. It's some interesting going-ons with Boogie. Boogie's going to be in jail soon with some big black stud cellmate just filling him with cock meat. Just filling him with cock meat, giving him the real fuck he deserves. Some big black cellmate just filling him with cock meat. Let's see. So, let's see if we can find, yeah, there's some footage here. So we got Boogie. So I don't know the backstory to this because I don't fucking follow Boogie. I really don't. I've never particularly been a fan of his content. I sort of remember him from the Gamergate days, but... So apparently, some other fat guy he was having a beef with, and Boogie pulled out a gun and fired a warning shot at this guy, I guess. Okay, so let's see if we can get to screen share here. That's muted. Why is that muted?
Into the news. 88 shot a gun. Into the news. The YouTuber Boogie2988 shot a gun today at another YouTuber. Now, I want to explain how we got there, right? There is this YouTuber called Frank Hassel. Frank Hassel makes the type of content where he just goes up to random people on the street with a GoPro on his head and he starts harassing them. Recently, Frank's channel has been banned off of YouTube and he is blaming Boogie298 for it. He's been saying for months that he is going to catch Boogie in public and harass him in public. Now, a couple days ago, Frank posted this on Twitter saying that he was in Boogie's town. Somebody showed up to Boogie's address, but it wasn't Frank. Someone rung Boogie's doorbell, but it wasn't Frank. I had both of them on for an interview. Quite frankly, Boogie looks bad. He's threatening Frank's life if he shows up. And I didn't want to put that interview out because, you know, I was afraid that people would cause this interview would cause people to harass and bully Boogie more. And he's obviously having some mental issues with all the harassment that is going on. However, things have changed because today Frank actually showed up to Boogie's house and Boogie fired a weapon at him. So first, we're going to show you the footage of what happened.
There's just no winners here. So again, Frank seems like a piece of shit. Boogie seems like he's acting like a retard. I mean, just call the cops. You know, charge him with assault. The guy openly said or not assault, harassment. The guy openly said he's going to harass you. You know, he's clearly not a danger to you. Look at the guy. What the fuck's he gonna do?
When Frank showed up to Boogie's house and he fired that weapon, here's a little bit of it. Roll it.
Come on, you fucking pussy. What's the deal? Where's the gun at, you fat shit? Open fire! Open fire!
Shocking stuff. Now, the police have been called, but look, I'm going to...
Yeah, right there. You call the police. He just he's not going to break through your fucking wall like the Kool-Aid Man. Call the police. Get the motherfucker arrested.
Show you the rest of this footage of what happened today with Boogie shooting the gun at Frank. But first, we're gonna get into the interview that happened last night because I think, you know, there's important context here that people need to understand about this story, and I've got express permission from Boogie and Frank to get the interview out. So we'll show the interview and then we'll show you what happened today. Here's that interview. Roll it. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we have Boogie2988 and Frank Hassel on
How
the
long
line.
is this?
Hassel, did you go to his house? Did you go to Boogie's house?
I'm starting to wish that I had at this point, given the little panic attack he appears to be having on Twitter. But unfortunately, no, it was not me.
But Frank, you did go down to Dixon Street last night, take a photo, tag me in that photo, and then say, "I'm in your town, pussy." Right? That was you? Oh, that's on your Twitter feed right now?
Yes, that was me. I am in Dixonville right now, and I am in Fayetteville, Arkansas.
All right, well, cool, man. Let me make it very clear. You should be very glad you didn't step on my property, okay? And I highly recommend you don't. It'll be the last decision you fucking make, okay? I've played around with you. I don't know what your obsession is with me. I don't know why you think I got your YouTube channel deleted. I don't know if it's because you're mad I got your subreddit deleted. I don't know who you are. I don't know what your fucking problem is, but I have no problem fucking ending you if you fucking come here. Okay? I told you very clearly, I don't give a shit what happens to me, and that's fine. But if there's a risk for me, my dog, or my roommate, I'm gonna take self-defense caution. I'm gonna do what needs to be fucking
very
done.
overdramatic and should consider taking your anxiety medication or something.
Well, I did take my anxiety medication tonight, man. And this is, do you understand that this is what you do to people? Do you understand that this is what you're doing to me? You've picked somebody with post-traumatic stress disorder to target with this type of harassment. What the fuck are you doing in Fayetteville, Arkansas? Why did you travel several states to pull this shit? What the fuck is wrong with you?
Let's try to dissect
It's
this a little
not
bit.
fucking funny to me. I'm not participating willingly in this. I've told you to fucking leave me alone, and I will fucking end you if you step foot on my fucking property, Frank. This is not funny to me.
Let's find out if
I
Frank
get that
has
you're a
it.
fucking sociopath. I get that you're a fucking psychopath. I get that this is funny to you. It is not funny to me, Frank. I am mentally fucking ill. I am fucking out of my mind with anxiety. You fucking know that.
Boogie, let's find out if Frank even has intentions of going to your house. I know he went to your city and he's in your city now. But
why are you in my city, Frank? Let me ask you that.
I could be doing this interview from outside your house right now.
You might be. Why, Frank? Why?
Because
what
it's
the
funny.
fuck?
And the idea
it's not fucking funny, Frank. It's not fucking funny. When you're laying dead on my fucking front lawn, that won't be fucking funny.
Okay, but Boogie, let Frank talk a little bit, all right? Let him get his say.
Dude, I'm just in Fayetteville to visit some friends, and you are really freaking out for no reason, man. It's crazy.
You tagged me on Twitter with a photo calling me a pussy that you were in my fucking town. Go fuck yourself, Frank.
Frank, where did you get the snake from? Where did you get the snake from?
There was a tweaker letting people take photos with the snake for $5. So
he's a local he's a local celebrity, man. Everybody knows that guy.
Frank,
there's a tweaker that lets you take photos with a snake. That sounds cool, actually. I want a photo with a snake. Yes, Chad, it's a cripple fight. You're wrong about one thing, Chris. We are the winners. PTSD from what? His wife paying him and still leaving him? Ooh. Somebody in the chat quotes Razor Fist. This is funny. I didn't know he says it, but this is funny. I'd be less inclined to say socialism is a mental disorder, if not for the fact that everyone who supports it lists their mental illnesses on their Twitter bio. Real men get in fights over Twitter. Yeah, you can't shoot somebody necessarily for being on your lawn, Boogie, or knocking on your door. That doesn't work that way. Like, I'm all for, stand your ground and all, but, yeah, you can't just shoot somebody because they knocked on your door. Now, if this guy comes, breaking through your window or something, yeah, I mean, ventilate the motherfucker, and then, as far as I'm concerned, you did nothing wrong. You can't get charged with a harassment for knocking on somebody's door when they tell you to fuck off.
Frank, let's be honest. All right, I saw you on another podcast. You were telling Boogie. Both of you were on there. The Kill Stream.
That's right, chat. We need Chris Wallace to moderate the Boogie versus Frank debate.
And you were telling Boogie, "I'm coming to your town. I'm gonna harass you."
Okay, we got enough backstory. I don't want to spend all night on this. So let's see if we can find where. All right, so we're gonna. I don't want to watch a whole Keemstar because Keemstar is not really content I enjoy. Let's see. Can we get to where I want to see Boogie shoot the gun? Come on. Here we go. Maybe now. Here. Is this it? What is this? Okay.
House actually shows up, and this is what happens. Roll it.
Come on, you fucking pussy. What's the deal? Where's the gun at?
I'm going to go out on a limb and say there's no good reason to have a GoPro in your head. There's no good reason to own a GoPro. Not that I know. Nobody's doing anything good with a GoPro. All right? Nobody's ever taken a GoPro and making the world a better place.
You fat... Open fire! Open fire!
Hey Sam, this doesn't have to, Cameron, this doesn't have to go down this way, buddy.
You're a fat pussy.
Yeah.
You won't even open the door?
Oh, I will.
And then what, you're gonna shoot me?
No, I'm thinking my roommate will.
You're gonna kill me?
I guess so, buddy. Just give me a second to get my dog wrangled.
You're a fucking pussy, dude.
Oh, hold on. I'll show you pussy, bud. He's the air guy.
Just call the cops and say, please, can you escort this this harassing idiot with a GoPro on his head off of my property. Like,
Yeah. Hey, you mind grabbing my dog? You ready? Yes, sir. Is this what I have to do?
shoot me in your doorway?
Yes.
You're fucking deranged.
I'm asking you to leave. This is my home. You are not welcome here. You have threatened my life. I'm asking you to leave. In about 30 seconds, I'm going to fire a warning shot. And this second will
Fire it now!
Okay.
Fire the warning shot now.
Is this what we have to do? I'm asking you to leave, Sam.
Sam?
Cameron, I don't know your fucking name. I'm asking you to leave. I'm asking you to leave, man. Please don't make me do this. Please don't make me do this.
Can you just leave his property so I can leave?
Why's this guy got a gun?
I'm just here looking at
Because
air
I
conditioning.
feel threatened.
This guy's about to kill somebody right in front of you.
Why are you on his property? Then?
I'll shoot to wound. I promise you that.
shoot the wound.
Shoot yourself.
No, I plan to shoot you, bud. I'm asking
Right
you
here.
to leave.
Right here.
Okay?
Right here.
Okay. I'm asking you to
You
leave.
pointing a gun at me?
Yes. You are on my property. You've threatened my life.
You are a fat.
Castle Doctrine.
You're a fat. Castle Doctrine means I get to take you inside and fuck you.
Okay. Sam, please don't make me do
Who's
this.
Sam?
I don't know. I don't know.
Regardless, the cops are coming.
Okay.
So you need
Have
to
a good
leave
one.
the property.
Hey, leave the property. Go.
Fuck yourself, here.
Go. What the fuck? That's the language you use?
Yeah, Boogie, you could have fucked this guy over, but you probably fucked yourself over. And apparently he fired a warning shot into the air, which is dangerous. I mean, like a bullet doesn't, you understand a bullet doesn't have escape velocity. So you shoot it in the air, it's gonna come back down. Now, it doesn't necessarily come down with the same force. It leaves that gun, but it still comes down in a way that can easily hurt somebody. That's right, Boogie 2988, armed and bothered. Beckloff isn't active enough to need a GoPro. Beckloff would need a time lapse. That's right, I need a time lapse. GoPro. No, I'm still saying there's never there's really no good reason to have a GoPro. He also fired near a school zone. Yes, I did hear that. I guess he lives right by a school zone. Let's see. This was on Twitter. Yeah, he was apparently too close to a middle school. Yeah, that's just not good. That's right. Rest in peace, Boogie 1488. A bullet falling doesn't have enough mass to cause any harm. I don't know about that. There's a reason when you're up on a skyscraper, you're not allowed to throw a penny off or something like that. That can fucking kill somebody. It at the very least hurt somebody. Again, yeah, it's not coming down as fast as it went up, but it's still coming down pretty fast. Any Davis cringe? I don't want to really do any Davis. We fucking do much of that shit. Like, how many times can I say, go get a job? You know what I mean, chat? Like, just, yeah, go get a job, Davis. There's my fucking Davis commentary. Go get a job, Davis. You need to go get a job. I wonder what people are saying about the debate. That's a good question. see what's going on the old Fox News. What they're saying about the debate. And I got a bunch of clips. Nothing really live. Nothing going on now. Razor Fist is still alive. He's probably reading Super Berries. We got Mr. Reagan. Catch some. We could catch some boomer basic bitch fucking. Yeah, let's see what he's going on about the debate. A little bit of boomer basic bitch conservative going on live about the debate.
We've given you a 40-cent raise, Peyton.
Let's see. So this is some ad. There we go.
I think Busser or Buser writes, Trump did exactly what Trump needed to do in this debate. That will become clear in the next month or so. Anyone doubting that should take a step back, look at the situation as a whole, and reanalyze. You may be right. I mean, sometimes it takes a day for me to really process this stuff. And so, I'll have a different probably perspective tomorrow.
Yeah, I bet Reagan was probably going on about how Trump was too hard or something like that. I don't know. I feel like he did fine. I just, like I said, I don't know that it's necessarily going to... It says bullets fired into the air are still spin stabilized and have hit and killed people coming down before. And that's what I understood. Josh White says no, it can't. Coins being thrown off the Empire State Building are blown back towards the building because they're too light. You fire a penny at your hand at terminal velocity, it will not break the skin. I don't know. Maybe you're right. I don't fucking know. I was told he's understand firing a gun in the air is fucking dangerous. You don't do that. But I'm not fucking Vsauce. I'm not gonna get in an argument with you about it. Davis needs 5 guys for his gym. Yes, I'm sure he does. His secret naked male only gym. What else going on with the debate? There's a few people that were covering the debate that are still live, but they're probably just reading Super Berries right now. You know what? I'm going to open this up for callers. If anybody wants to call in. Otherwise, I'm going to wrap it up. Hey, Fooney's still up. Still, I might see if Luke wants to hop on. I know he might have ducked out. Like I said, anyone want to call in, let me know on the Skype's there, or you can message me on Discord. If you're on Discord, message me there. Let's see. Get hangouts going so we can all have a little chat. Fuentes has 35,000 viewers tonight. Well, that's good for him. That is a lot of cat boys. I kid. I don't really have anything against Fuentes. I mean, I don't take him all that seriously, but I don't particularly hate him either. So, let's see. Oh yeah, Cantwell. Cantwell's going to jail for up to 22 years. He was found guilty. That'll be interesting. I still don't hate Cantwell. I know I'm a sucker. I'm a big old sucker, but the guy, I still don't consider him irredeemable by any stretch. All right, so I'm gonna invite some people in. We got Forney, we got Luke. Luke might hop in. Oh, that's right, Chad. Always wrap it up. You never know who she's been with. Oh, so his name is Frank Castle. I thought they were saying it's Frank Castle. I thought like he named himself after the Punisher. I thought I heard Frank Castle. Or, yeah, Castle. That's not a very intimidating looking guy to be named after the Punisher, but alright. Oh, Lordy. I am tired as fuck. God, I had to get up early today. And frankly, I just haven't been sleeping well. As I said, I am a bit of an injury from that car accident. You know, I'm by no means crippled, but it's painful enough to make sleeping difficult at times. But I'm supposed to start some physical therapy here soon, so that'll hopefully get all that sorted out. Ugh. And then you gotta be on the phone with a million insurance companies, like, you know. Got some prescription for happy pills tonight, you know, some muscle relaxers. And, so, you know, you go into the pharmacy, I gotta show them my work health insurance. So then now I'm gonna have to, you know, my work health insurance is probably going to be fighting over with the auto insurance over the cost of that prescription. You know how it is. Hey, what's going on, Luke? Oh,
bigger guns make me safer.
Oh, so what'd you think of the debate there, Luke?
Absolute chaos and confusion, at least from the neutral standpoint, but Razorfist got a kick out of it.
Well, it was fun to watch. I mean, it was damn good television. No getting around that. I don't know how much, you know, it's really going to sway the needle, but...
Yeah, but I could just tell, but even if I think that the first debate was chaos, the Pence and Harris debate is going to be fantastic.
I kind of feel like, to some extent, Trump needed to really come hard here because, like, basically everything that's wrong right now is the Democrats' fault. Like, I know that sounds like an oversimplification, but it's like, look at all the riots and the unrest. Yeah, and who started that? Who's doing that? Look at all the economic problems. Yeah, because of an overreaction to COVID. And who's overreacting the most? So, everything that's wrong right now is on them. And so, to a certain extent, like, you needed to come in hard. If anything, he should have gone harder on certain issues. And yeah, bending fucking Wallace over and pushing his shit in. Just because I have such contempt for the media. I was like, yes, fuck yeah.
Hey, Matt, how you
Hey,
doing?
I'm doing all right.
What's going on in the old world?
I just did a poll on the street of Belgrade about the debate. One guy said to me, "Go Trump. Clinton bombed my country. Trump beat her. Now go away. I have to go to work."
What time is it over there?
It's 5:45. I was anticipating going to bed, but watching the hilarious decline of my country kept me from my actual job, so I'm going to have to pull an all-nighter on that one. Then I need to go to I have to move again for the umpteenth time in the past year, so it's not going to be a fun day for me. But I'm making the big bucks, that's what matters.
Good to hear. Good to hear. Oh,
so,
shit.
Yeah.
You know what I forgot? I forgot I got to shill something. I completely forgot I have to shill something. So, folks, Aaron Clary has a class you can take on minimalism. if y'all are interested in that. Some of you young people want to learn to save money. So let me get you the link. If I can find it. Okay, so, and full disclosure, I get a kickback if you all sign up using this link, so everyone should do that. I want everyone to do that for purely selfish reasons. I want everyone to do that. So there you go, folks. I don't really know how many people in my audience are going to be interested in that kind of thing, but by all means, have at it. All right, so there you go. There's my shill. All right.
Yeah, speaking of shilling, it was really horrible how Boogie shot all those pigeons.
I don't know. So people in the chat are arguing with me that a bullet can't come down hard enough to hit people, but I'm pretty sure it can.
It absolutely can. It's called gravity, people.
Well, yeah, I get that it doesn't come down as fast as it went up. Like, obviously, gravity is not going to accelerate it to the speed of coming out of a gun. I get that, but it's still coming down. I mean, even if it can't kill somebody, it's got to be able to hurt somebody. I mean, people get hurt from fucking hail. You know.
It's going to kill someone, or at least severely wound them. Like, you know the fucking videos of like in the Middle East, like Muslims will just shoot an AK-47 into the air in celebration in a big crowd of people. How many? They have to have killed God knows how many people doing that.
Yeah, I've always been told you don't shoot a gun in the air. That's a safety hazard. You know, somebody will get hurt.
Never, ever. Like, the whole concept of a warning shot is an absolute joke. For number one, there's no concept of it in the law. Discharging a pistol is illegal. Discharging it into the air. You know, even in like Stand Your Ground and Castle Doctrine states, you have to, you know, in order to actually have that applied to you, you have to shoot at something that's worth shooting, like the person who's attacking you. You can't fire a warning shot. And number two, they don't actually deter things. You know, it was like a warning shot.
I consider
Hollywood myth.
A warning shot.
If you shoot a gun into the air, it's more likely you're just going to upset the person you're trying to threaten.
A warning shot is a 22 to the knee. That's a warning shot. That's a,
I don't think that's how that works.
No, that's a warning shot.
Boogie,
That's
Boogie completely abrogated any self-defense, claim he could have made in a court of law by doing that. Well, in a bunch of the other shit he did, but that was one of the big ones. Like, and again, he did it in a fucking populated area. He could have killed someone. Like, that's just a crowded suburban area. There's a school right there, a church.
The chat said
it's not like he was using an AK, so like the range on a pistol is pretty limited. But that, you know, that could have. My God, Frank Castle's the king of all fucking trolls.
The chat says I'm the worst shilla on YouTube. It's true. I am so bad at this. Also doesn't help that I'm kind of on muscle relaxers and kind of wonky. So. Let's see.
Did you ever see the? I mean, that was when this whole feud got started between Boogie and Frank Castle. When they appeared on the Kill Stream like a month ago, and Hassel just trolled Boogie into like admitting all this heinous shit. Like, Boogie said straight up, like he started talking about how his dad taught him how to jerk off.
That's weird.
He talked about how his sister allegedly raped him.
Who needs to be taught
allegedly,
how to
because
jerk
he can't
off?
even remember.
Like, don't you just figure that out? Like, I just figured that out. I don't know about the rest of you, but I was like 11 and I just sort of figured that out. You know, I didn't even know anybody else did it. I thought I stumbled onto something new. I'm like, I'm a fucking genius. You don't even have to wait for a girl.
So basically, like, this has been going on, and all Hassel has been doing is like just making fun of Boogie online, and it completely drove him insane. If you listen to the Keemstar interview, like, Boogie's talking tough. He's all like, you know, I'm gonna fucking end you. I dare you to come over to my place because I'll fucking put a bullet in you. And then Frank shows up and Boogie just completely whips out.
Like,
I
you
love the
can't.
exchange where it's like, I love the exchange where it's like, in 30 seconds I'm gonna fire a warning shot, and Frank just calls his bluff. I was like, fire it now.
You can't shoot somebody for knocking on your door. Like, you can call the cops if they won't go away. You could, like, but you can't now. Yeah, if Frank would have like, pushed his way through the door and come in his home, yeah, you can ventilate the motherfucker. At least in most areas that have decent self-defense laws. I don't know where the fuck Boogie lives.
Arkansas.
Well, yeah, he's probably got good defense law. You have to fuck up pretty bad then down there, and he did.
Not really. I actually looked it up. You would think that Arkansas would be like a super. I guess it is compared to the national median, but Arkansas is not a stand-your-ground state. It's a duty to retreat state. Not entirely. You don't have a duty to retreat in your home, but it's also technically not a castle doctrine state. But even if it were, like, that was not a situation that could be claimed on self-defense, because again, all Frank did was come up and knock on the door. All Boogie had to do was call the cops or just tell him to fuck off and go away. Boogie opened the door. The day before, he had instigated a confrontation by telling Frank, "Yeah, come over to my house. I'll blow your skull open." Boogie instigated the confrontation. He fired a warning shot. He fired a shot into the air. All this other stuff. He's fucked legally. He's absolutely fucked.
I mean, look,
You can argue that Frank was being an asshole. Well, that being an asshole is his own persona. I love Frank Hassel. He's fucking hilarious. But the worst Frank did was maybe like a misdemeanor trespassing violation.
I think he could have gotten charged with harassment. I mean, like, again, I'm not an expert on those laws, but I think Frank could have. I think Boogie had the potential to fuck Frank over, and Boogie completely fumbled that ball. I think he had him in a position where, like, Frank was breaking laws. Yeah, misdemeanor, but he was breaking laws. He could have fucked him. Like, you could have had a nice revenge there, Boogie, and you didn't. You fucked it up. You went out there and you wanted to play fucking, Charles Bronson, and you obviously didn't have the fucking stones to do it, so. Senator Chief says that's Arkansas is now a Hassel doctrine state.
Oh, yeah. And you gotta love, like, Frank just, like, calling Boogie out on his bluffs constantly. Every time Boogie makes a threat, Frank just laughs at him hysterically. He's like the real-life Joker.
Nothing to do with all your strength. Although that's not a lot of strength here.
Oh yeah, speaking of Jokers, Cantwell's going away for a long time.
I'm just worried whether or not he'll be able to keep up a regular schedule writing Iron Man and Dr. Doom.
Well, I mean, there was a certain Austrian who composed a very famous work of literature while he was in prison. So
it might actually help him stay focused on the writing. I find that so funny. There's a Marvel Comics writer currently doing Iron Man and Dr. Doom books that has the name Christopher Cantwell. And I'm like, does he know about the other guy? Like, I would maybe go by Chris or use your middle name or something. Like, you're just full on going by Christopher Cantwell. Really? You're just gonna do that? All right.
Well, there's a semi well-known journalist in the UK. I think he works for the Spectator, named Richard Spencer.
Oh yeah, I think I'd go by my middle name.
Yeah, that kind of dovetails into the Frank Hassel thing, because Cantwell was absolutely fucked from the get-go here. If you actually look at the charges that were laid against him, he was convicted of 2 of the 4 charges that the Department of Justice laid against him. The most important one being the charge of not extortion. No, it was a threat to injure property or reputation. What Cantwell did is, then there's people trying to frame this as like, oh, he's being put away because he's a dissident. Oh, the Jews are targeting him. What Cantwell did was...
He was attacking other white nationalists. How? I don't understand how even if you're a white nationalist, you're on his side. He was just attacking someone that was a personal rival.
Well, don't underestimate how stupid the
well, that's true.
Be.
But anyway, fucking retards.
But anyway, what Cantwell did was He tried to extort Cheddar Main, one of the members of the Bull Patrol, to get him to give over the docs of another person, Vic Mackey. He tried to extort Cheddar Main by threatening to, report him to CPS to get his kids taken away, and then he actually called CPS. Like that's an open and shut case of extortion. Like there was room to wiggle room on the other charges, but on that specific charge, that was a slam dunk, dead to rights conviction.
He was also saying like I'm gonna rape your wife in front of your kids and shit. Like just really heinous fucking shit. I can't defend him. I mean, I always liked Cantwell, and I still pray for the guy. I hope he turns his fucking soul around. I mean, life. I can't really say life at this point because that ship has kind of sailed, but his soul at the very least. But there's not
on the and with regards to sentencing, he's very likely to get the full 22-year maximum. He's getting a decade at least. Because you have to factor in his priors, since he's been in and out of prison, his entire life, and the plea deal he took at Charlottesville explicitly stated that if he was arrested or convicted of any other crime, in a 2-year period after that plea deal was given to him, he'd go right back to jail. So they're going to factor all this in, and they're going to give him a really fucking long jail sentence.
Yeah,
not to mention, I know someone who is, shall we say, got connections on the inside. This person's going to go around to, lean on all of his prison contacts and make sure they all know that Cantwell is a Fed snitch. So he's either going to get the shit kicked out of him and raped by the Aryan Brotherhood, or he's going to have to spend the next 20 years in solitary.
He's gonna renounce his white nationalism after he becomes Tyrone's bitch. Tyrone will defend him.
It'll probably be other white people fucking him in the ass.
No, nobody.
Trust me. There's two groups in a prison that everyone hates. It's chomos and snitches.
What the fuck's a chomo?
Child molester.
Oh, child molester. Okay, I was like chomo. What the fuck is that?
Chomo.
I get it now, but like, I don't think I ever heard that term. Like a chomo.
It's a portmanteau of child and homo.
Yeah,
a linguistic lesson for you.
Anyone that molests or even fucking like kills a kid or something, like they're done. They're done for in prison. They give. Yeah, I've never heard the term chomo. That's a new one. We learned something today, folks. That's it.
Yeah, and again, fuck Cantwell. I mean, fuck him and fuck the handful of defenders he has left. Because again, remember, this piece of shit, he sold out to the feds. He proudly admitted that he was a Fed snitch. He doxed Ricky Vaughn, helped dox Ricky Vaughn. And if you read the full series of articles that I think it was Hillary Sargent was writing for some shitlib, I forget the name of the shitlib rag she was writing for. She wouldn't cover the trial. Paul Neyland, who Cantwell teamed up with the dox Ricky Vaughn, Neyland testified against Cantwell in the trial.
Well, I remember hearing him on some stream. I think it was on YouTube because I don't really watch the other services very much. But I think he had gotten kicked off YouTube by this point. But he was a guest on someone's stream, and they were asking him about the doxing thing, and he just basically was going off about if I consider you an enemy, I'll do whatever it takes. And,
I think you're talking about the Luke Ford stream.
Yeah,
I was on that stream.
And it's like there's got to be some sort of restraint. There's got to be some sort of, how many people that bought a T-shirt off of you, if they criticize you online, are you going to dox them? I mean,
he has doxed. He has doxed his customers.
I mean, I fucking bought a T-shirt off of him in 2015.
He has doxed his customers.
Thank God that credit card information ain't valid anymore. Cards expire. But for fuck's sake, I looked back at that for a while and I was like, man, that was a fucking mistake. Plus, he's become so toxic. I even though no one knows what the fuck it is, and the helicopter thing on the back is pretty cool. I'm not fucking wearing a Radical Agenda T-shirt anymore.
Yeah, you may want to burn it just to be safe.
Oh, lordy. Oh, fuck. So you watched that debate then, Forney? What you any particular things thought of?
That was pretty good. Like, you know, Trump didn't score like a knockout blow like we were hoping, but you know, he's got 2 more debates to do that. But I think this was overall a win for him because Biden looked Biden was very clearly mentally unraveling by the end of that. You know, he was.
Yeah, I think if that
he was slurring his words. He was stammering. There was the point where he just like lost it at Trump and called him a clown. There was and it's very clear that like, you know, he kept cycling. You notice how he kept cycling back around to Corona, even when it had nothing to do with the topic. It's clear that was one of like a handful of points that his handlers were able to drill into him. Like, because there's only so much, only so much information his brain can hold.
I kind of feel like if that debate had been a half an hour longer, he'd have completely unraveled. Like, there was at least one moment when Trump was talking, and I swear Biden for about, I want to say a good 30 seconds was just zoned out. Just you know, we've all done that from time to time. You know, where somebody's talking to you and you fucking, you know, briefly time travel. You know, you skip 30 seconds forward in time as you just fucking zoned out because you don't. But that's when you're talking to somebody you don't care. You know what I mean? When the boss is rambling on at a safety meeting or something, you know, because of something you fucked up yesterday. Just hypothetically, for example. But, you know, you just, like, he did that in the middle of a debate. You could see it in his eyes. Like, for about 30 seconds there, he was fucking gone. He was just gone. And...
But if you have, like, the gangster move Trump pulled where, like, Biden went into that lie about how, like, Trump allegedly called the troops losers and suckers. Like, my son was in Iraq. He was not a loser or a sucker. And Trump was like, oh, you mean Hunter?
Oh, yeah, and he went hard. He was like, you know, the guy that got thrown out of the military. He didn't have another job until he got and he just kept hammering that number, $3.5 million, mysteriously from Moscow. Are you vice president? Jesus.
Now, in Biden's defense, he's so senile, he probably doesn't even remember that, you know, Hunter Biden did get a $3 million payoff from the mayor of Moscow, but... Because, you know, that was his stock response whenever, you know, Trump challenged him. So it's like, that's not true. That's a lie. Like that, because that's the only thing he can fucking remember.
That's a lie.
I'm sure they coached him on it. I'm sure they coached him on it just because they knew that if they didn't, Trump, he would have a total senior moment.
I'm quite certain he had something in his ear because, from what I understand, he refused to have his ears checked, like to make sure there wasn't an earpiece. That's the rumor, at least. So I wouldn't doubt that. I think they also put him up on Adderall. Because I can't. I mean, I'm no doctor, but I can't. I don't know of anything. There are probably a few other things, but they put him up on something to try and get, you know, a little bit of fucking.
They got all the black market Russian drugs and, you know, stuff them in there. You know, his veins are probably pure acid at this point. My favorite, you know, and there was the other point where Trump challenged Biden on the Green New Deal and the cost of it. It was like, the Green New Deal will pay for itself. And I think it was either Trump or Wallace brought this up. It was like, so you support the Green Deal, New Deal? And Biden was like, no, I don't. I have the Biden plan. And it's like, his fucking campaign site talks about the Green New Deal.
Yeah, I don't think Biden did well, but I mean, you know, he certainly didn't do as bad.
He didn't have the total meltdown that we hoped. But I think
K,
even like
cereal. Hey, what do they do with the regular K? And for that matter, whatever happened to K Ballad? You know, if you said mallard and you had a cold, it would sound like ballad.
Do you even listen to yourself when you talk?
I drift in and out.
Well, the other thing too is like, know how the talking heads are responding to this. Like, they're not saying Biden won, you know, which is what they said after, you know, the debate in 2016. They said Hillary won them. They're not saying Biden won. They're saying this was a shit show and no one won, which means Trump won.
Well, actually, the real winner was Chris Wallace. Let's be honest. He beat,
No. The real winner was the American people.
Chris Wallace beat the living shit out of Donald Trump on that. I mean, I don't know why Trump just didn't walk over and just smack him. When Chris Wallace asked him, should we trade places? If I was Donald Trump, I go, yeah, we should.
Well, I like early on when he was like, I guess I'm debating you. That's okay. I expected that.
I mean, it was basically just Chris Wallace just berating Trump. And,
But I really can't complain about Trump's performance. I mean, he pissed Biden off, and he got out like all the important points. He brought up how the lockdowns have been destructive to the economy and to people's livelihoods. He brought up critical race theory and the anti-discrimination stuff. He brought up the riots. He got Biden to actually endorse the ridiculous idea that Antifa is an idea, not an organization. There's so many fucking sound bites that are going to come out.
I like that soundbite when he was like, they were like, "Are you going to condemn white supremacy?" And I don't know, some other fucking boogeyman. And Trump just goes on about, all the violence is coming from these left-wing groups. And he's like, that's not what I asked. Are you going to condemn? And he goes, yeah, sure, name them. What's the things you named? Like, just utter contempt for him. Like, what's the things you said? White supremacy. He goes, yeah, sure, that's bad. Anyways, Antifa's a real problem. Like, he showed Wallace a certain level of contempt that I think actually plays well into it. Because let's be real, nobody fucking likes the media. Certainly nobody that's even going to be considering voting for Trump fucking likes or trusts the media.
Well, yeah, that's the one thing I remember listening to a stream about Trump where they were kind of disappointed on his things he didn't follow through on that he said he would in his campaign promises. But they said the one thing that he did, and it wasn't necessarily something he set out to do, but he completely destroyed any trust that the average normie has in the mainstream media.
Yeah, he pointed that out. He talked about, the media will go after me, and they'll treat Biden with kid gloves and all that. And it would be very easy for a lot of the things he said to come off as whining. With your average, undecided person. But again, I think Trump just has a certain aura about him where it doesn't feel like he's playing the victim when he says that, If anything, he's bragging about, like, look how well I did despite all these people coming at me. And I think that's an important thing because nobody likes it when somebody's out there seemingly playing the victim. So it's hard to complain about the media treating you unfairly while also, not coming across like you're whining about it. There's no other way to put it.
Well, yeah, because it's not quote unquote media treating him unfairly. It's the media literally attacking him. Like it's not necessarily just the media being dishonest about Trump. It's like the media has actually taken on a role to try to destroy him.
Oh, I agree. I'm just saying it's hard to complain about that without it looking like you're playing the victim, and I think Trump does a good job of doing that.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, yeah, he does it because it's just not Trump's personality to, because Trump doesn't see himself as a victim.
Yeah, he's like, yeah, man, look how great I did, even though all these losers coming at me all the time.
Yeah, he just doesn't. That's not how he views the world. Trump is.
You mean your one son that got thrown out of the army? What a loser.
Well, so I'd like to point out something else that Trump managed to accomplish, which is very important. He managed to get Biden to act in such a way to demoralize progressive voters because he got the Green New Deal. Obviously, he got Biden to say he doesn't support the Green New Deal. He got Biden to say that he supports the police. He got Biden to admit that he's against violence, which we're all gonna piss off the Bernie, progressive type voters that he absolutely needs to put him over the top. Like right now, if you go on Twitter, like they're all blackpilling about it. They're like, oh God, no, Biden denounced the Green New Deal. Great, young voters and progressives have less reason to vote.
I don't think the hardcore leftists, they're not turning out for Biden. I actually saw some, and it was some leftist that posted this meme. I can't remember where I saw it. I think it was on Facebook, but they were all mad that AOC endorsed Biden, and they showed some picture of her like endorsing Bernie a while back, and she's got this big smile on her face, and then her endorsing Biden, and it looks like Biden threatened to kill her fucking puppy if she didn't endorse. Like there's just this like look of just soul crushed on her face, and it's like, yeah, selling out don't feel good. I don't know what to tell you. Like, how'd you think it was gonna feel?
Trump got Biden to punch left. That thing that the black pillars say that the left never does.
Well, it's similar psychologically. It's kind of similar to what the problem the Democrats had in 2016 with Hillary, where she didn't inspire anyone to come out, especially at the end, where I don't know, it was because she was so sick, she canceled a lot of her rallies and stuff like that. She just didn't. She pretty much stopped campaigning for the last 6 weeks. So. And let's be honest, do you really think like with like the last month when there's a real push that both sides are going to make, Biden is going to have the energy to go out and hold rallies and stuff like that? Come on.
Biden has called a lid at like 9 in the morning for like 14 out of the past 30 days.
And that's just going to.
On Argent's stream earlier, right? He was doing like a little bit before the debate. A lot of people were doing streams during the debate, and I just wanted to actually sit down and watch it and then talk about it, But I mentioned something where it's like, there's a lot of people that are going to vote against Trump. There's basically nobody that's going to vote for Biden. And historically, that's a really bad position to be in. And I mentioned, like, look, I understand voting against somebody. Because, I voted for John Kerry in 2004. I voted for Mitt Romney in 2012. Do you think I fucking like John Kerry or Mitt Romney? No, I fucking hated the other guy. But you want to know, what does John Kerry and Mitt Romney have in common? Neither one were fucking president, were they? Because generally, just hating the other guy usually isn't enough to pull you over the edge. There are exceptions, like I would argue probably Carter. Everybody hated, Gerald Ford. But, I mean, Carter was at least likable, at least before you saw how terrible he was at being president. But, he at least came across as likable. Like, nobody fucking liked John Kerry. Nobody fucking liked Mitt Romney. And nobody likes Joe Biden. And I just, historically, that's a really bad position to be in. Like, even if the other guy is very polarizing and very hated by a large group of the American people, as George W. Bush and Barack Obama both were, it's still a bad position to be in. Because it's just generally not enough to get you over the hump.
Yeah, I agree. It's enthusiasm is a huge X factor in politics, and that's what Trump had in 2016. People were excited about going out and voting.
I still think he's got it too, because you look at the primaries. Trump had more turnout to vote for him in a primary that was essentially a formality than the Democrats had in their contentious primary. Like, I actually thought of.
My mother actually sincerely asked me this question this morning because we were talking about the debates, and she, because she's concerned about Biden's mental health, and she said, why did the Democrats choose him? Like, of all the people, that they could choose from, why would you choose this, geriatric, feebling old man?
Because he's controllable.
Yeah,
well, but I think I just think that the Democrats just don't have, I use the expression a deep bench. My mother didn't really get the metaphor, but they don't really have any, because look at the people that they brought up, like, Elizabeth Warren, like they had no idea, like people just hated her. They were just repelled by her personality.
I honestly am amazed at who they pick, because, the merits of these candidates aside, whether you'll like them or not, Joe Biden was the least electable of everyone running out of that, 20 fucking people.
Oh, no. He was not the least electable. But he was down there.
I maybe you can point to one or two, but I really am having a hard time imagining a worse fucking ticket than Biden-Harris that the Democrats could have put out there. Because first of all, you got a man that nobody has ever fucking liked, that is has dementia, and then we'll get the progressives in with brown woman. Brown woman will get the progressives in. Yeah, except that it's brown woman who sucked dick to get her job and is best known for locking up young black men for mundane, meaningless shit like skipping school and smoking weed.
And
Well, you gotta
and is
understand,
totally
though,
unlikable.
Yeah, and is horribly unlikable.
But the challenge that the Democrats had was they more or less had to pick someone that ran in the primaries, right? They couldn't. They had to go with a woman of color, pretty much. They didn't want Democrats would look like total hypocrites having two white people running up against Trump if they were this progressive party. So that limited there. So I guess they picked Kamala Harris because she had some remnants of an infrastructure still in place from her primary. And she's young, so they wanted to have. I guess she's young. I don't know how old.
I mean, I guess I can understand how they came to this fucking terrible decision, but
no, I'm not saying it's good.
But
it's
wow,
it's a best of bad choices. Like the reason that because I'm sure they had a team of monkeys up for nights trying to figure out what how to do this. A lot of they everything now is what do they call that, Matt, when they do tests?
Focus tested.
Focus, yeah. Everything is focus tested. Focus groups, everything is tested. So they don't do anything without going through tests. But I guess they were thinking geez, well, who are we gonna put up there with Biden? Cory Booker, Elizabeth Warren? They were like, who are we gonna, it was
Buttigieg.
Yeah, right.
Judge, whatever.
Yeah. I mean, who are they gonna put up with them?
I believe it's pronounced Pete Buttplug.
Yeah. So.
I will never not read his name as Buttplug. I can't. There's a mental block. I can't fucking read it any other way. It's it's Pete Buttplug.
Well, that there'd be bumper stickers saying that. Right?
That is extremely homophobic. The correct pronunciation is Pete Buttgay.
Buttgay.
Yeah.
Butt sex. It's.
So that's one of the challenges that they had with this. They were like, man, we got some shit players to field the team with here, and that's what they did. I mean, I mean, if you had to choose a ticket, look at I don't even remember everybody that was in the primary when it first started, but who of those people could you say would have been a strong ticket?
Bernie Sanders would have been the best.
Yeah, I think Sanders is the most electable of the bunch. I think Tulsi.
You really think? But people.
I don't think he would. No.
Gonna turn around.
That's saying he's the smartest kid with Down syndrome. I mean, I'm not saying he would have beaten Donald Trump, but if you're looking for who's the most, I mean, maybe Tulsi. Tulsi could have possibly gotten a lot of independents and all that kind of stuff. But the problem is she never would have gotten through the primary. But in a general election, I think she'd have a better shot than the rest of them. Again, though, that's like saying I have a better shot of winning the Powerball if I buy 3 tickets instead of 1. I mean, well, yeah, 3 times is better a shot, but I'm still probably not going to win.
Yeah, yeah. So I guess the point is why do the Democrats choose who, their ticket is so weak, and people are going to look back on it and go, what the fuck? I mean, it kind of remember I don't know, and none of you guys are really old enough, but what was that ticket one time? Was it Mondale and what was the name of that bitch?
Reagan Mondale.
No.
What was the
Mondale's ticket? Mondale's VP.
Geraldine
Reagan versus
Geraldine
Mondale,
Ferraro. That was the worst ticket in history. It was just so bad. Didn't Mondale he lost everything except his home state and the District of Columbia. It was just
I sometimes wonder if the DNC higher ups just know they're going to lose and they just threw Biden out there because fuck it, who cares? I mean, I also think that they're so unhinged. Maybe they don't know they're going to lose, but this feels like the kind of thing that you would do if you knew you were going to lose, and you just throw this idiot out there.
I don't. I mean. There's a lot of people freaking out like establishment types, because Trump kind of threw a monkey wrench into politics in general, right? Because you look at all look at all the long-term established Republicans, both those who held office and actually worked in government and those in the media who just like totally lost their shit. I mean, everybody from Bill Kristol to what's the other guy that used to be on This Week with David Brinkley, that other faggot that likes baseball. You had all these neocons totally lose it. You had 2 former Republican presidents refuse to endorse him, the Bushes. People in his own party, literally attempting coups. You had Mitt Romney vote against him in the Senate like that. You never had a Republican president that had so much shit from his own party. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. But again, I really think that... See, I'm concerned about the mail-in stuff, but at the same time, there's part of me that has a sneaking suspicion that it isn't even going to be close enough to steal. I just... There's a little bit of... And I'm not full on saying it. Like, I'm not as confident of Trump's victory as I was 4 years ago. If you remember 4 years ago, I was like, oh, he's got this. And I basically never wavered on that.
Well, I said once he wins the primary, you said.
I said early on, I said the primary's the real thing. And,
yeah.
I mean, I kind of, after that first debate in the primary, I sort of sat back and I was like, I think he just won this election. But I'm not as confident. And again, the mail-in vote is the main reason. Because they are planning to steal it. I mean, you heard them. They basically said, we're going to, on purpose, repeat 2000.
Right.
They just admitted, like, we're on purpose, we're going to repeat 2000. It's like, and good on Trump for having none of that. Like, this is all bullshit. What are we doing? This is retarded. That said, though, part of me just feels like there's a lot of people that just are looking at, like, I have to wear a mask all the time. I'm not allowed to go anywhere. Everything's on fire. And a lot of people, they know who the fuck's doing it. And, you can't necessarily have a big red hat on and put a Trump sign without some deranged lunatic fucking with you. So there's a lot of people who are going to vote for Trump, and they're not talking about it. They're not even necessarily talking about it to pollsters.
No, I totally agree with that. But I was thinking about this a lot because, like, where I live, I think everybody knows that I live in Seattle. And I know you've never been. Well, Matt's been here, I think, but most people, if you live in the heart of a blue city, these people are literally fucking insane. Like, I couldn't wear a MAGA hat and like go to like even pick up a cup of coffee someplace without worrying about someone hurl a loogie in it. You just can't do it. You can't be a Trump supporter. I couldn't have a Trump bumper sticker on my car and park it anywhere in the city without it getting keyed at a minimum and more likely getting all my tires slashed. That's how bad it is.
Oh, yeah. And like I said, I just feel like I feel like there's a lot of liberals who, while they're very, very mad at Orange Man, they're not necessarily very enthused for Biden. And maybe they're just not going to remember to go out, or maybe they're just not going to, they're going to go out and they're going to protest vote and they're going to write Bernie or whoever the Green Party guy is or whatever other bullshit. Or they're just going to be too busy setting the AutoZone on fire to fucking go out and vote.
Yeah, well, I think that's what the young vote that is the section, the demographic that is the most liberal, the most pro-Democrat of the population is always the young people, right? Biden is not inspiring them. I mean, he's not inspiring anybody.
Young people don't vote. Who gives a fuck what they think?
Well, generally speaking, no. But that's my point. With Biden, it even compounds it, though. Like, if there was a lot of young, like if Bernie, like for example, if Bernie had been on the ticket in 2016, a huge number of young people would have turned out and voted for him.
When a candidate is able to get the young people out, they generally win. I've heard it described once as the sword and the stone. Most people can't pull it out, but if you do, you're the new king.
Well, yeah, didn't Obama got a huge amount of
young people? Yeah, Obama got a huge amount of young people coming out to vote for him.
His first election, he did.
Yeah, in the first one. I believe back in the day, a million years ago, when the Earth was still cooling, I believe John F. Kennedy got a huge amount of young people voting for him.
Well, back then the voting age was 20.
It was 21. Yeah, that was
well, relatively young.
So college kids couldn't vote back then, but Yeah, I don't know if they what the numbers were. I mean, well, let's be honest, Kennedy, did steal that election.
Yeah, I was going to say, in all fairness, a lot of those young people might have also been CIA employees, but that's the narrative we're told, at least.
Plus, I think Trump is actually going to get a majority of the youth vote this time around.
Just because young people won't.
Honestly, the Gen Zers, you know, the ones that are voting for the first time right now. I mean, let me put it this way: if you're an 18-year-old kid, you know, you didn't get to go to prom, and you didn't get to go to graduation, and you didn't get to do all that fun senior shit this year. And who the fuck did that to you? It wasn't Trump.
Well,
just saying.
The reason I think Trump might win the youth vote is because he already won the white youth vote in 2016. He got 49%. I think Hillary got like 46%. I don't think he's going to lose the white youth vote, and he's gaining hugely among Hispanics. So that might put him over the top with the overall vote. Yeah, tell him.
Hispanic vote is no. That's sorry, man. I just want to emphasize that the Hispanic vote, and that's something that the Democrats are really kind of freaking out about. This whole BLM thing, because the Democrats didn't know how to handle it, and I'm not sure there was a proper way to handle it that would help them win. But that's really turning off a lot of the Hispanic vote.
I heard somewhere. I want to say it was maybe Styx Hexenhammer. But there was a couple of new polls, and one of them was an outlier and was like way up there. But all the polls were trending in this direction, that Republicans in general, and Trump in particular, is gaining a large amount of ground with homosexual men. Now, what's interesting about that, because look, it's not that sizable portion of the population to fucking begin with, regardless, you know, of the fact that they're on every television show.
Yeah. I was gonna say, if it isn't watch TV, every other.
Yeah, they might be in 99% of the TV shows, but they're still about 3% of the population. What's interesting about that, though, is it does sort of show a fracturing of that sort of Democratic coalition of victims and that sort of stuff. Because look, I mean, I'm happy for every new Trump voter he gets, but I mean, he could take the entirety of the fucking gay male population, and it's probably not going to swing the election.
Well, what's the reason for that, though? Why gay?
There's a lot of speculation about it, but you know,
well, they probably. Well,
I just think they've ended up.
They probably don't like they're having their shit burned.
It's similar to what's happening with the Hispanics, and that's that they're no longer all that high on the progressive stack, and they feel like they're getting shafted by the other side. No pun intended.
Well, with Hispanics. Well, Hispanics is deeper than that, you know. I did a stream about this, Castizo futurism. Basically,
it was a pretty good stream.
Hispanics are assimilating into whiteness, as it were, and they're going to start voting accordingly. It's basically what happened with like the Irish and the Italians and everyone else. They're becoming just another group of white people, you know. And Trump is going to get minimum 40% of the Hispanic vote. He might get a majority, but I would be shocked if it goes below 40%.
I mean,
which will swing places like Florida, New Mexico, Nevada, and it also means that Texas is not going to become a blue state.
I would argue that there's, like, look, decades ago in the Stonewall times and Harvey Milk and all that other bullshit that Hollywood makes movies about all the time, you know, there was probably something to gay people being politically active because, you know, there were real threats from the establishment they faced to wanting to live out their lifestyle. But those don't exist anymore. So the only points you're getting for being politically active on the basis of being, you know, a buttfucker these days is the fact that you get victim cred. And once the Democrats start to erode that away, because, yeah, you're a gay guy, but you're not a trans, otherkin, furry Mexican, you know, half Jew, half black, or whatever the fuck. So you're no longer up on the thing. Male. Yeah, you're also white and male, so fuck you. Well, now there's not necessarily all that much point to being, you know, to running with that crowd. So fuck it, I vote for Trump. You know, I mean, and yeah, a lot of these guys, you know, they don't want their businesses burned down. They don't, you know, they're not happy about the fact that they couldn't go to the fucking gay butt sex swingers club because of all the COVID bullshit. You know, I mean, just whatever, you know, like anyone else, they're not happy about all the bullshit that's been done.
Well, Also, there's an economic component because white gay men tend to be higher on the, economically. So, they do better than straight white men, financially speaking.
So yeah, I and again, it's not that in and of itself. It's not. I'm not sitting here like, oh, we got the gay vote, guys. We definitely got it in the bag. Like, first of all, he doesn't have the majority of it. Second of all, even if he did, it doesn't actually matter. But it is an indicator of the Democrat coalition of fucking losers fracturing.
Yeah. Well, another challenge is though that in a national election that the gays just tend to hyper concentrate in really blue states anyway. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think the gays tend to congregate in, let's be honest, they're in places like San Francisco and New York, and those that's where they all go anyway. So
yeah, except for those ones that play the banjo in the swamp. Those ones you don't want to get near those ones. Yeah, they're dangerous. I saw a documentary on that once.
But I mean, that's so I don't know. I mean, I think Trump will win. I don't know if I think, but the Democrats are going to pull out everything legal and illegal they can do to stop him from to do. So who knows? I mean, they're totally soulless, ruthless people. So never underestimate that.
And that's the one thing I really liked that he did in this debate is he just went hard and said, look, they're going to steal it. They're doing this. That he went very, very hard. And, he didn't go very, very, a lot of us were disappointed that first debate with Hillary, like, oh man, he should have gone for the throat on this bitch. But I think he was trying to soothe the fears of a lot of pussy ass fucking middle of the road people that he's presidential and all this other gay shit that people concern themselves with for some reason. I don't. I like the fact that he's a fucking chaotic lunatic. That's exactly why the fuck I voted for him. But he didn't need to do that this time. That wasn't the game plan. The game plan this time was go hard, and he went hard right from the get-go.
Well, one thing is interesting, and Matt's probably more up on this than you or I, Chris, but Matt, how is the media covering the outcome of the debate? Like, are they basically?
Well, I just said it earlier. They're all saying it's a shit show and nobody won, and now they're pivoting to say that Biden shouldn't have any further debates because Trump is just undignified.
They were people. A lot of people earlier today were trying. There was a lot of rumblings earlier today from the media that Biden shouldn't even dignify this debate and stuff. And Limbaugh said earlier today, because I happened to be out and about, so I was in the car and I happened to hear it. He was like, part of me thinks Biden's going to just cancel this debate. And
I was kind of surprised he showed up, actually.
I didn't think he would, but there was maybe, I figured there was maybe a 10% chance of that actually happening right up until the moment that those two men walked up on stage, because I'm like, oh man, is he really going to do this? Is he going to try and I'm sure there were staff members all day that were making sure he got just the right amount of Adderall to be, cognitive but not manic, and desperately thinking like, is there any way to back out of this and not have it blow up in our face?
Well, they do have, I don't really know a lot about the treatment for Alzheimer's, but they do have medications that, at least in the early stages of it, can inhibit some of the symptoms. It doesn't slow the disease down or anything like that.
Yeah, I'm sure they tripled the dosage tonight.
Yeah, so that's, but you were, I don't know, was you or Matt were saying that they how many days of the last so and so did they just like shut him down? Like said, okay, no, we're not.
14 out of the past 30 days, like basically half of the entire month.
And
so he just has
a large portion of campaigning is you gotta get out there, man. You gotta get out there. You gotta have rallies. You gotta put your face out there.
I didn't realize how important that was until I saw what it did for Hillary, where she pretty much stopped campaigning at the end. Now, I don't know, was that because she was lazy or she was just really ill? Because remember, she passed out a few times, so I'm not sure. But she just stopped campaigning at the end, and a lot of people think that cost her the election, or at least made her lose so badly.
She didn't go to Wisconsin or Michigan once.
Yes. And people were saying that, you need to. I don't know if I don't know about Michigan. I think that I think everybody was shocked.
I think they
by
did
that.
a last one stop in Michigan in there at the end, but she never went to Wisconsin once.
Right, and so I mean, there was a lot of states that flipped for Trump, and people going, "What?" I mean, even people thought Trump was going to win. We were like, I mean, Beckloff, I think it still hurts you to admit it that the way the Amish turned out for Trump, but like you had Pennsylvania go for Trump. People going, "What the fuck?" But I mean, people.
I knew that was going to happen. I called that. I called that.
Yeah, I mean, like, I think a lot of people were not surprised when Trump won Florida and places like, because those states do flip. Go, they get, they will go Republican in national elections and stuff like that. But there was a bunch of states that Trump won, like Michigan, for example, that people were just kind of freaked out about.
I love watching. I still to this day love every once in a while firing up somebody did a montage showing the Young Turds, Chunk Yu-Gi-Oh, and all just slowly melting down throughout the night.
Oh yeah, that was. I remember when you had the marathon stream that night, and showing them like watching, the electoral.
They shut off the chat at one point on their live stream that night because the chat was just nothing but a bunch of people spamming MAGA and shit like that, and they just shut off their chat.
The wall, people were having the bricks, yeah, they had, and they were literally, melting down. Well, you had one journalist, I don't know, on CNN or what, I don't know what her name is. I don't watch news anymore, but she literally was saying when Trump won.
Well, I mean, we just covered on this channel a couple days ago. Somebody did a big article about how in the wake of Ruth Bader Ginsburg's death, they converted to Satanism.
Oh yeah.
And and of course it was that gay, stupid, LARPy, atheist Satanism or whatever that. But it's like, yeah, that's a winning platform. That's a winning platform, liberals. That's what you know what you want to run on the platform of fuck Whitey, burn everything down, stay in your homes forever, and hail Satan. That should be your platform. I'm sure that's going to win over a lot of people. Somebody shared a tweet earlier today where it said maybe if in the wake of a justice of the Supreme Court dying, you have a complete meltdown and convert to Satanism and write an op-ed about it, maybe Trump's not the problem here.
Well, it's another thing. I don't know if anyone, because I'm not sure what's going on, but it seems that in cities where the Antifa, BLM mobs were allowed to totally run rampant, that has totally stopped. Like even in Portland, the police are just totally just beating the shit out of the.
I said early on this was not a wildfire; it was a controlled burn. They were just letting it happen because they thought it was serving their purposes, and it wasn't, but they thought it was.
And they've shut it down because I watch some of those streams because Seattle, not like Portland where it's like every night, but Seattle every once in a while, like it happened after RBG died, but there'll be these flare-ups in Seattle. But Portland, like they were pretty much like, the mayor was out there, chanting with them in the beginning, now they've just literally shut them down where the police are coming in and just, bitch slapping them. So I don't know what's going on with that. I guess maybe the optics just turned so bad. They say, look, we got to stop this. We can't have pictures of fucking cars on fire. And no matter how many CNN reporters call it mostly peaceful, no one's going to buy this shit anymore.
That car is mostly not on fire.
Well, I mean, that became a meme where even the normies were like, what the fuck? You're calling this mostly peaceful. The city's fucking burnt to the ground, for fuck's sake.
It's like that SpongeBob meme where everything's burnt to the ground. It's like, we did it, Patrick. We saved the city.
So I'm guessing the even the Democrats, I don't know if there's any coordination among them anymore. I don't know. I mean, is anyone in charge of the asylum? I don't know.
It'll be interesting in the next day or so to see just how the media tries to spin tonight's debate. That'll be part of it, and that'll be part of to see how this settles. But I think the media is going to try and spin it hard that Trump was out of control, and they are so disliked and so untrusted that At this point, they would be better served for their ends to go out tomorrow and say Trump was great, he won, because nobody believes them, and people are just going to think the opposite. Like that's how discredited the media is. At this point, endorsing Trump would be the best thing they could do to hurt him.
Well, the thing about debates is when people try to analyze win or lose it, like a lot of people try to score it, like individual questions, like kind of score it like the boxing match, like on the 10-point must system per round. That's not how the human mind judges a debate. Everybody remembers the specific. It's kind of like in a boxing match. You'll just remember the Tyson knockout blows. You don't remember the whole fight.
Most debates are won and lost in a single moment, like a
exactly.
second.
Like I always said that Trump won the election when he said, when Hillary said, "Oh, it's a good thing you're not in charge of the justice system." He goes, "Yeah, because you'd be in jail."
Oh, that first question in the first primary debate when they were like, "I don't have time for political correctness." Oh, only Rosie O'Donnell was the first thing he said when you call women whores or whatever. And he's like, I don't have time for political correctness, and neither does this country. And the crowd's just losing it and shit. And I just sat, I could feel, it was like an air pressure change. I could feel it. I was like, oh my God, he just won this debate and probably the presidency.
Right. So, or you can look at other debates, even not Trump, but everybody remembers, remember the VP debate with, who I forget, George H.W. Bush's, that guy, he was retarded, he couldn't spell potato, and he was running against the former Treasury Secretary, and the guy said, "You are no." I knew Jack Kennedy. Jack Kennedy was a friend of mine. You were no Jack Kennedy. That was the knockout blow. Everybody just remembers those specific.
I think it was in the Reagan Mondale thing, because there was a guy used to be on Fox News. Beckel, I think was his name, was one of the campaign advisors for that. He told the story. There was some line in there where. It just came up about Reagan's age. Somebody asked him, basically.
Not at all, Mr. Truitt, and I want you to know that also, I will not make age an issue of this campaign. I am not going to exploit, for political purposes, my opponent's youth and inexperience.
Yeah, Beckel says to this day, he goes, I was backstage and I just kind of slumped in my chair and I go, fuck, we just lost.
Yeah.
I just in that moment, and you're like, dude, we just.
Mondale straight up said afterwards that like when Reagan made that crack, he said I knew I'd already lost.
Yeah, it's Beckel says he's slumped in his chair. He's like, fuck, we just lost. And I feel like a lot of people now a lot of them are so disconnected from reality. Maybe they didn't see it, but I'm sure there were some RNC guys, in that first debate that were like, fuck, he's gonna get this, isn't he? When he just shut down Megyn Kelly like that.
Oh, yeah. When Trump did it, yeah.
And as far as the, you could argue that Trump was too aggressive or something, but could you name me one moment Joe Biden said that's memorable? Now, granted, obviously nobody here is particularly a fan of Biden, but still, try to be objective for a moment and really think about it. What did he say that's oh, that's the thing that sticks? That's the thing where it's oh yeah, did you hear when Joe said that thing? There's nothing. The fact that he wasn't drooling and shitting his pants is impressive given the state of that man. But
yeah, but that's a challenge that you always had with Joe Biden, was he never was the kind of person that would he could deliver a line from Shakespeare and say it perfectly, and just because it's coming from him, it doesn't have any energy behind it.
There's a few things Trump said tonight that were just yeah, that sticks. Oh, I guess I'm debating you and not him. Yeah. That's okay. I expected that. Oh man. And then the line where he was like, my son served in the military. Oh, you mean Hunter? Didn't he get thrown out?
Yeah, that was good.
You whatever. Your son's a loser. You got thrown out. Fucking drug addict.
By the way, I will give Democrats credit for covering up the mess that is Biden's family. Because Hunter is just that. That guy's just he's kind of like the. He's kind of like the modern day equivalent of Billy Bush. Does anybody not Billy?
What was Clinton's brother?
No. Jimmy Carter's brother.
Yeah.
Do you remember that guy? He was this like alcoholic guy that was just driving his brother nuts. I think it was Billy Carter. He had his own brand of beer for a while, Billy Beer.
I remember Billy Beer being referenced on The Simpsons.
I don't know. There's something fucking hilarious about like Hunter Biden. I mean, yeah, he's a shitbag, but like this dude is just like all out with the degeneracy, the coke, the fucking bribe taking. There was that story about like how he used to frequent the Hustlers Club in New York City, and one of the strippers had to go and purchase a specific dildo to use on him.
On him?
Was that a real story? I don't know if that was.
That was a real story. It was reported in the Post.
So he would only use dildo to use on him.
On him, he's very specific about. He has very particular taste about what he likes going up his ass.
Not only does he want the stripper to stick a dildo up his ass, it has to be he's very specific about it. You know. Well,
it's dangerous. That's dangerous, by the way. You know, because a dildo could like get stuck up there. That's why butt plugs got the flared ends.
Yeah. Okay.
That's why you want a dildo that has balls on the end. You know, that's why they make them with balls on the end.
That's the reason.
That's the reason.
Yeah.
You gotta wonder how often Hunter Biden has been to the emergency room for ass-related incidents, given his general lifestyle. Like the episode of House, where, like the guy, you know, is standing up in the clinic, and House like deduces that the guy has an MP3 player stuck up his ass.
Yeah, well, actually, foreign body. What do they call it? I forget the foreign bodies or something like that. That's no joke. You ask anyone that's worked in an ER, they will tell you that people stick all manner of things.
Yeah, there's a lot of things you got to fish out of someone's greasy asshole when you're at the ER.
No, that's a huge. You'd be shocked. Like anybody who's worked, not even the doctors. Like even I had a buddy of mine that was a security guard in an ER in Miami, and like one of their.
Oh yeah! If you read the old Vice column, Bollocks of the Hippocratic Oath, like there's a column about the things that people put up their asses, and there's a column about the things that people put up their dicks.
Oh Jesus!
Oh Jesus Christ!
Like there was the one guy.
No, I can't. No.
Yeah, let's.
No, not tonight. Not tonight.
He had a colony of maggots in his bladder because he stuck a few up his dick while he was out.
Where's the mute button for 40? Can we mute 40? Oh God.
I'm just curious, like, not that I want to know. I'm just curious, like, is that even something that they could treat, like, without removing the bladder?
Yes,
like,
the way you treat it is you take them out back like Lenny from Mice and Men.
Yeah, I mean,
that's how you treat that.
No, because like
you throw them into the medical incinerator, the whole person.
Yeah, because like the doctors are going to be like, they didn't teach us this before. Like, I don't know. There's no prescription for this.
Well,
there's a comedian.
They could just do some surgery and just cut the bladder open and take them out.
There's a comedian. He had this great bit. I can't remember the guy's name, but he played the zombie in the cartoon Ugly Americans. If you want to look him up, but he had a bit where he's watching one of those medical shows, and they're talking a bunch about things people have been showing up their ass and stuff. And he goes, the doctor was just looking at the camera and saying, I cannot stress enough the importance of not putting foreign bodies up your ass. And he's like, and then the doctor just sighs because he knows no one's going to listen to him. And he's like, I feel like this doctor wants to go around from school to school doing a presentation where he has like a table full of things. And he's like, a light bulb, a jelly jar, some mice. What do these things have in common? I had to fish them out of somebody's greasy asshole. Why do you people have to shove it up there until it disappears? Can't you leave an inch hanging out for when you're done disgracing yourself?
Well, I do got a true story. A buddy of mine told me this. Who is he's a regular like doctor, like at a regular office, but he used to make before he was married, he used to do ER shifts for extra money, and not in like trauma units, but like VA hospitals and shit like that. And there was one time he was at the Naval Air Station in Whidbey Island up there at that hospital, and this guy came in who had cut open his scrotum.
Oh Jesus! I'm taking my headphones out. I can't register.
And like they actually had to commit the guy, like, for this, they could put a hold on you for like 24 hours or something like that. And like they said, why did you do this? And he's like, I wanted to see what was inside. I don't know how we got off on this crazy topic, but I'm just
Yeah, that's how boring Biden is. We started talking about
that's how boring
people
Biden is.
showing
Well,
it. Well, no, it's because his son puts a lot of stuff up his ass.
Yeah, it's because you'd love to get the medical records of Hunter Biden.
Biden is actually he's endorsed by all the top dildo companies in America.
Yeah, right. But my point was the Democrats have done a good job, I think, of keeping his degeneracy for the most part out of most of the normies don't know about.
Well, there's a lot of normies that are Googling a lot more about Hunter Biden tonight.
Yeah, the Google algorithm engineers are going to be working overtime to scrub all that.
They will.
That's what this feels like. Ow! That hurts. My God, is that what I've been doing to people? I belong here.
All right. Well, I think I'm going to wrap it up because I'm going on for over 2 hours. And y'all aren't making with the super chats right now, so fuck it. I'm a whore. If you're not paying up, I'm getting out of here.
Rabbits. And I get the tender rabbits.
Plus, I'm probably going to go to bed early because the...
Box Factory.
Well, yeah, I got the Box Factory tomorrow. Plus, got some good jelly beans from the doctor, and I feel like going to bed early. So, folks, if you enjoy the content I put out, do consider supporting the show. There's the paypal.me/TheBeckloff and streamlabs.com/TheBeckloff, where you can send a donation even when I'm not live, and I'll see it when I am live. And also in the chat, there was earlier, I said something about Aaron Clary's class. You could take this class on minimalism, and if you do, I get a big old kickback. So do that because I like money.
Pay money to learn how not to spend money. A genius maneuver for the night.
I know Chris gets a kickback, but I'll throw you a few bucks, Chris, just to make up for it. But that Aaron
By
Clary,
the way, that wasn't sarcasm. That wasn't sarcasm. By the way, it's a genius mover. You should all go sign up.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that Aaron Clary is actually having a class on, I mean, basically, this is the class is going to be, send me $499 and I'll tell you not to spend $499 on people who are offering classes to save $499.
I should probably defend this sponsor, but I'm a little loopy, so I can't.
It's a hell of a lot cheaper than a college education, that's for sure.
You should all sign up for Aaron Clary's class, because then I get a kickback. So all of you should learn how to not spend money.
Yeah, I mean that's so retarded. I think he's back on the bottle again. I don't know.
Jesus.
I disavow.
Aaron Clary is a trusted sponsor of this program. You should all go and buy all of his books and sign up for his class and send him super chats and stuff.
God, you're a whore.
I am. He's just not allowed to spit in my mouth. But other than that, yes, I'm a whore.
By the way, the Beckloff live stream is a fully owned subsidiary of Terror House Press LLC. Please go to terrorhousepress.com and check out all of our books, including the latest one, 6 by Mather Schneider.
That's right.
A great book about the travails of working as a taxi cab driver in the beautiful metropolis of Tucson, Arizona. It's got naked Mexican ladies, homemade pornography at Photoshops, all the good stuff. 6 by Mather Schneider, out now at Terror House Press, terrorhousepress.com. Also available on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and your favorite local bookstore.
That's where I'm going to publish my Gentle Femdom Pokemon fan fiction erotica.
Which I've read a sample of. Good stuff, by the way.
Yes, it's very good. It's going to be great.
It's going to be titled "Borked by the Bulbasaur."
Yes, it's a story of Misty training a very intelligent Bulbasaur.
Poked by Pikachu will be the sequel.
It's going to be great. You should all buy it. And you should sign up for Aaron Clary's class. Let me get the link. Because y'all are going to sign up for it. You need to sign up for this class, guys. It's funny.
Yeah,
great.
really. You need this.
John, I think you should sign up. I think you need
Yeah.
to learn You need to sign up for this. Don't make me laugh because then I look like an asshole. But I'm also fucking. This isn't fair, damn it. I'm hopped up on fucking muscle relaxers.
Sign up for Aaron's class of minimalism. Pay for $400.
I can't. I'm sorry, Aaron. I'm not in a position to defend you right now. Okay, where is it? I'm getting the link. We're getting the link. We're gonna put the link out again, guys. We're gonna put the link in the chat so you can sign up. Let me get the link.
And there's no chance of you being doxxed and people finding out that you actually paid this kind of money.
There you go. And I get a sweet fucking kickback. So you should all sign up for this class. How many? We got 27 people watching. Holy shit, man! If you all sign up for this class, what did he say the kickback was? I don't remember. I don't remember. But it was a good amount of money. And if you all sign up for this class, it's gonna be a good. Fuck, man. You should all do that. Sign up for Clary's class and learn how to not spend money, so that I can make some money because I like money. And